Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Hey Corner Crew podcast. I am your host, JJ Lang. With me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. You know them, you love them, Nate, the little goon Foss,
I'm here.
and the RAT's own resident stat man, Dan, the stat man Scully.
I didn't get hit with a basketball this weekend like last weekend.
Oh, geez, that's hilarious.
We have more. We have other sports here.
Basket weaving is a thing?
Basket weaving.
And
This
JJ
week-
is frozen, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Oh,
Who
that's
cares at this point?
terrifying. That is horrifying. Oh my
That means it
God.
stays. Apologies for my webcam. I don't know what's up with that, but it's fine. We'll make it work.
Oh,
This episode's not going to be that long because there wasn't a whole
Famous
lot
last
to
words.
talk about.
yeah. No, this will still be an hour-long podcast.
This
JJ. What
will
are you
go like
talking
2.5
about?
hours. Sorry, Zoe. So real quick before we get to the games that were played this weekend, we're going to talk about games around the league for CHA. Unfortunately, the ladies did not play this past weekend because they played that really dumb Tuesday-Wednesday series against Syracuse. So we're going to talk about the around the league for CHA, and then basically go and start talking about upcoming against Mercyhurst this weekend. So I will pitch it to Dan for all that.
So, for the CHA, the week started on Friday. Penn State hosted Lindenwood. Took care of business there. 5-1 win for the Nittany Lions, as most people expected. They finished the sweep Saturday with a 6-3 win. Penn State also moved up from 12th to 10th in the poll this week.
Big dubs
Yeah, it is for them.
for the Nittany Kittens. Let's go. Needed it.
Syracuse had to, because of the weird schedule changes, they went out to Mercyhurst Saturday and Sunday. I read it right this time, unlike last week. Mercyhurst put a beating on them on Saturday, 6-1.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
And then on Sunday, Syracuse salvaged a point with a 1-1 tie. Ariel DeSmet with 50 saves on 51 shots.
She was insane during that game. My
I'm
God.
not shocked. I hate ties. Ties are stupid.
They are stupid.
Yeah, but you also think shootouts are stupid, so...
Shootouts are also stupid. Just
But at
play
least-
3-on-3.
But at least
until
there's a
winner.
winner after a shootout, though.
No, there's not.
Well,
According to Dan Scully, it's a tie.
good point.
That's what the NCAA says, and I don't work for them, so you
You know
can't-
what?
it's-
Who actually
it's
likes the
only a-
NCAA?
It's only a tie if we lose.
Facts. I'll give you that one.
I feel like there's some parallel from math classes I've taken in the back of my head right now, but I'm not going to try and remember what I'm thinking of. So Penn State will head to Syracuse Friday at 6 and Saturday at 3. And the only other games in the league this week, I still can't speak. Are Mercyhurst traveling to GPC to play the Tigers. 6 o'clock Friday and 2 o'clock on Saturday.
More than one game in a day in
I know, right?
CHA? What?
What a shock.
And only
let's-
Friday and Saturday games for a change.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of nice.
let's talk real quick about Mercyhurst. We've obviously seen them before. We were at one of those games. They laid an
Ugly.
absolute smackdown on us when we were there. They did beat us. What was it, 7-1?
Ugly.
Yeah, it was bad. Very, very bad.
I mean, you
Let's-
can take some things from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't give up 5 goals in the first period.
yeah, that would be relatively helpful.
Don't take a penalty 20 seconds in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't let Sarah Boucher have the puck.
That would be relatively
That's a
helpful
big
also.
Considering out of their 12 goals, she scored 6 of them that weekend.
Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
plan.
Didn't she have 2 hat tricks?
Yep.
Yeah,
Or was it like, okay,
Yeah.
or I didn't know if it was
Mhm.
like 4 and 2 or something like that.
she is unreal.
She's probably going to win CHA Player of the Year this year.
Well, I don't know. Thea Johnson has 12 goals, 17 points for them.
Might be a
Shit.
toss-up then. Who knows? I just think somebody from Mercyhurst will
somebody
probably
on
win
Penn
it.
State that has a good shot for it too.
Oh,
That too.
Kyra Zanin, 21 goals, 21 assists.
Oh my
Kiera
Yeah.
Zanin.
Kiera, I can't
Good
read.
Lord.
She's
Kiera Zanin-
from Rochester.
That's even worse.
Oh, shh. I knew that.
Ooh, that's even worse.
She's really good.
Yes. You
That's an
think?
understatement.
Why is she at Penn State?
Yeah, why don't you play for the home team? Anyways,
Yeah, exactly.
so
We'll start
This
the
week-
campaign when they come
Yeah.
here in a couple weeks. The
these
come home campaign.
these two games coming up are going to be really tough. I really do honestly think they're going to be quite difficult.
Find a way to get a point.
You got to.
A
You
point.
have to.
Got to find a way.
Something.
Put yourself in a position where you don't have to go down to Lindenwood and sweep in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Then
Find
again,
a
you-
point.
Yep.
If
You
you,
also
have
gotta-
if you have to block 100 shots, I don't care. Find
Mm-hmm.
a way.
Do it. A win would be fantastic.
And don't take penalties.
No.
I know that's hard for RIT.
That's what
hockey
killed
teams
them
to,
last
like,
time.
Hold up to comprehend. I know it's a hard thing to comprehend with both their men's
the
and women's
penalty
team.
parade.
Don't take penalties, please. The first responders jerseys on Saturday are sick. I didn't know that was happening until today.
Amazing.
Those are sweet.
Yeah,
So-
I kind of want one of those.
You can go bid on them on the Athletics website right now.
Oh, what am I doing here? Hang on.
Yeah.
Give me a
How
second.
much of that? What's that up to right
I'm
now?
going.
We're gonna
going.
full.
Hang
We're gonna
on.
full stop the podcast just so we can figure out what this is and make Zoe
Hey.
really mad.
No, we're not stopping. I'm doing this live. Keep talking. Dan, talk about
Talk about something, Dan. Vamp.
it's a buy now price of 300. The first bid is 75. Syracuse is gone. So if you want,
Shocking.
sorry.
Syracuse is gone.
Do we have a 22? We don't have a 22,
Nope.
bruh. So order a blank 22 and give it to me. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
So yeah, if you know any first responders, bring them out.
That would be great.
I
then
do
stay for the men's
believe
game.
with proper ID that first responders get in free this weekend.
Yes, I think
I
that is
believe
Saturday,
so as well.
Saturday at
Yeah.
least. I shouldn't say both games. I don't know. for
Yes,
sure.
probably just Saturday when they're doing that promotion.
Yes. Auction ends a week from tonight, which is Monday, the 6th. So yeah, tickets are free for all first responders. Come on out. These jerseys are sweet if you haven't seen them.
Yeah, they're
Go to
pretty
the
awesome.
RIT Athletics page. Go to the story about it. These are nice jerseys.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
pretty
they are.
cool looking.
I don't need
don't
to
have a-
spend any more
No.
money.
Too bad, Dan. Do it.
Especially because I have a PHF All-Star jersey to bid on.
Let me guess.
Well,
Yeah.
there's only one alum that's played in the
Yeah.
game, Nate.
I hated those jerseys. They were.
Anyways, let's get
They
back
did
on
not
track
look
here,
good.
gentlemen.
I didn't, I
I
didn't
was
like
not
the
a
Team
fan.
World ones, to be honest, but I still
No, I didn't.
want
I
Bakers.
Well, I hate white pants. So I will say this:
Oh
if
my
RIT
God.
Hockey ever does an alternate jersey with white pants, I'm walking out of the building.
No, you won't.
I will
You're
skip
so
an
full of
RIT.
it.
Yes, no, absolutely
You're
gone.
so full of
White
it.
pants are the most horrible thing ever. And yes, I'm going to watch the Sabres on Wednesday to wear and watch them wear white pants. But
Yeah, that's
I
what you're
got
full
my
of. It.
white
Anyways,
pants.
should one of us get Hannah's? I mean, we did interview her.
maybe one of us will end up with someone's. We already know that.
Yeah, I might get one. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Anyways.
see what the bidding's looking like on Monday.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Let's.
Okay, where were we?
Yes. Anyways, now that massive side tangent's over,
Find a way to get a point this weekend.
Yep. That's all you gotta do.
It's not the end of the world if you don't, but you can put yourself in a better position for next weekend.
It just helps better if you do.
Because I'm pretty sure Lindenwood being idle this weekend
Could be huge.
doesn't really help us, but they only have 4 games left and 2 of them are against us, and then the other 2 are up at Mercyhurst. So the fact that they have to travel for those other 2 games, if you can find a way to maybe even steal 2 points this weekend,
Yeah.
This is the most important weekend of the year. Every game is the most important game of the year from here on out for the Leafs.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
You need to find a way.
You've got to capitalize on these 2 games in hand that we've got right now. I know you say that Lindenwood being idle doesn't help us, but it helps and hurts at the same time.
Get points.
They can't get points to hop us at all.
Gain ground.
Yeah, we need this. So let's do our predictions real quick, and then we'll just take a quick look at the standings because they did shift a little bit for CHA. Start with Dan, go to Nate, and with me.
I think the Tigers can steal 2 points. I don't know if it's going to be in the form of a win or a pair of ties, but there's potential there, especially after beating Syracuse and tying Penn State earlier this year.
You're unbeaten in 3 of your last 4. You have the confidence. You know you can grind out a win in a hockey game where maybe the other team is a lot better than you. You know how to grind out a win. If you come out firing like they did against Syracuse on last Tuesday, then you can put Mercyhurst into a state of shock and then capitalize on those opportunities and just keep shooting the puck. Pucks need to be going at the net from everywhere for the next 6 games because you need to find a way to gain points.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with Dan. I think 2 points are on the line. I think they can come out of here with 2 points.
I'm also agree with that. I think 2 points for sure. Well, I think we'll at least get a point.
At least one.
I think we're going to get at least one. I think
you can get 2.
But 2 is definitely something they could pull off. I think they could definitely pull a win off. I mean, I think especially
they've been playing a lot better.
They definitely have been. They've been taking a lot of shots too, which has been good to see.
And it's been coming from everybody.
Yes.
You look at the team.
It's not just Dobson, 2 people.
Amy Dobson leads the team in points. She's got 12, but how many players that aren't goalies don't have any points? 1, 2, 3. 3
that's
players
good
without
to
a point
see.
this year.
You like
that's
seeing
good.
That.
I mean, how many games have Cameron and Haley Glazer played in? Like, not many. So, I mean, so they've been out of the lineup. So it's, you expect them to not have any points. So I'd love to see Annie get one here. She's been in 19 games. She's got nothing to show for it besides 6 penalty minutes. So come on, Annie, it's time to shine.
Especially this weekend, it'd be great to see something happen that weekend. Also,
I'd love to see somebody new step up.
Yeah,
like somebody come out and kind of take the reins and see what we can do here.
And so that being said, there are 2 women's games this weekend. The one on Friday is at 6 p.m. at GPC. The one on Saturday is 2 p.m. at GPC.
Wear black Saturday.
That is a corner crew blackout.
Blackout Saturday for both games.
We'll get to the men's game later though.
Did I do black shirt, black tie, or black shirt, orange tie?
Oh, orange tie. Black shirt, orange tie looks really good.
Yeah, that's a good point. It will look pretty cool. So looking at the CHA standings right now,
you'd also look like a straight up funeral director. Oh, nice. He could be the funeral director for Jacob Barchevsky.
Good Lord. Anyways,
I don't usually do this mid call, but I'm changing my Zoom name.
The funeral director.
Barchevsky's funeral director. God.
Yeah.
Funeral director. There we go. So looking at the CHA standings, Penn State remains in first place. They have a 9-point lead in the next closest person. They have 21 points. Syracuse sits second with 12. Mercyhurst 3 with 10. Lindenwood still at 4th with 6, and RIT still at 5 with 3. So taking a point from Mercyhurst, at least one this weekend, puts you within 2 of Lindenwood, which basically means a win and a tie, and you've kind of
Penn State has locked up the number 1 seed.
Yes,
Syracuse
Penn State
cannot catch them.
Yeah, Penn State is sitting pretty. So Penn State at this point, kind of like we mentioned last week, they're pretty much don't expect them to take their foot off the gas because they are still fighting for an at-large bid just in case by some weird happening they don't win CHA.
Which is a possibility. I mean,
it's possible. Mercyhurst could definitely beat them.
Catch them too because Mercyhurst has 2 games in hand on them.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was looking at
Syracuse can't hop them, but Mercyhurst still can.
That's true. I didn't think about Mercyhurst. Well, they're not going to because we're going to take 2 points from Mercyhurst this weekend.
Facts.
Well, because let me look at where they're sitting in their pairwise. Because
While Nate's pulling this up, also, I
they're
don't know
they're
what.
in 10th in the pairwise, so
Yeah.
they've gained a spot, which
Yep.
is good. But
Mhm.
if you lose to any team in CHA, let's be honest, they're gonna fall out of it. So they need to
Yeah,
keep their foot on the
they'll
gas.
dip.
It might tank their pairwise ranking and hurt
Also,
their chances. So
all right, now jumping gears over to the men's side, the men did have 2 games done in Worcester.
Worcester.
At Holy Cross for a 2-game series down there. They did take 4 out of 6 available points, which was nice to see. So we will pass over to Nate now, and he's going to get us going with that.
Yeah. So Friday down at the Hart Center, the freezing cold Hart Center, according to Ed.
Yeah.
Um,
And Jeremy and Tom also.
everybody that was there.
Yeah.
RAT came out with a very lucky 4-3 win. That was definitely not the best game we've played.
And that game came on the stick of Carter Elliott to score big friggin' goals, Wilkie. So
yes, Carter Wilkie pretty much
single-handedly won that game.
put the team on his back in the third period. I mean, 15 shots for this team, that's not good enough.
No.
And you're lucky that you won that hockey game. Tommy Scarfoni probably stole you the game.
Mm-hmm.
But good teams find a way to win when they don't play their best. So,
and you know what? It's a win. Win's a win. Take it and run.
Yep. Oh, what was the quote I heard?
It's not how you win. It's
good teams win the games that they should. Great teams win the games that they should.
Yep.
So I don't know who said that. I heard it somewhere, but I like
Wayne
that.
Gretzky,
And I think that
Michael Scott.
that
is one of the funniest bits ever.
That was good. That pretty much tells you all you need to know about the game Friday. Penalty parade, shocker.
There weren't even that many compared to what we normally see.
No, but there was still 5 of them.
That's still not good.
And only 2 against Holy Cross.
Yeah, thank God we didn't have to play narco every time. Scarfoni, 31 saves. I mean, he was Tommy. Move on. Calvin Boots also getting a goal Friday.
That was great.
Fun. Nice to see him on the score sheet.
Oh, I know. It's so I think we talked about it last week too, but this week he just has fit into that forward role from being a defenseman the last couple of years.
I'm also going to say
so nicely. He's an everyday player in the lineup now, which he hasn't been for his first 3 years. So
and I was going to even
say really good to see.
I was going to say when he got here, he was scratched every game. People would always go because everybody always knew that he had transferred from AIC, and he gets here his first year, doesn't play at all. And everybody was
play at AIC either.
No, everyone's sitting there going is he gonna ever play? Because did you just transfer to sit the bench? And then this year, it was no, he didn't fit with his position. You switch spots, and now he's just excelling. And you got to be nothing but happy for him because he's playing really well right now, and he's helping us win games.
Well, I just think too, the last couple of years, our defense core has been so good and so deep.
You weren't going to crack into that.
It was hard for him to crack the lineup, kind of like a JoJo situation at UMass. So it's not that he was a bad player. It's just they had players and better depth players, and it was hard to crack the lineup. Evan Miller with 2 points in this game too, 2 assists.
Yeah.
So the fourth line very much contributing in this one. Dmitry Markojanakis had a heck of a weekend too. 2 assists, and then on Saturday he had 2 more points. So got away with one Friday. That game's not going to win you games in March. Team knows that. We know that. They played a lot better on Saturday. And don't get me wrong.
Despite that,
I'm not discrediting Holy Cross at all. They
played really good hockey this weekend.
That is a very good hockey team.
They are
at Holy Cross, and that is a team. I said it before. I'll say it again. I do not want to play them.
Neither do I.
Not this year. Never. Not again this year. Nope. I'm good. Somebody else can play them. Right now, they would be playing AIC in the quarterfinals. So, I mean, that's an upset watch right there. I think Holy Cross is a team that if they can stay healthy through February and they keep getting the consistent goaltending they've been getting, they can make a run.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Terrifies me. Saturday, better game. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but obviously not because we lost 4-3 in overtime. But man, we only had 18 shots, and it doesn't feel like it. It was I felt that we had maybe more than that. It was definitely a back and forth game. We had the watch party at
That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun. Thanks to Dan Talbot for setting that up. That
was
a good time. They should have never left the microphone in there though.
They should have left the podium in
there. So for those who don't know, JJ was late.
Oh my God. I had a little birthday party to go to.
He missed the first goal and then refused to leave after Holy Cross scored when he got there. So that
is the only time I've ever felt afraid for my life at a college hockey game because everybody was just adamantly against the fact I stayed.
You walked in the door and got booed.
So for the record, Nate calls me and says over the phone, if they score before you get here, you have to go home. And
immediately after we hang up,
as I'm walking into the building, I get the CH notification. It says Micro Janakis scored. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Seriously?
That was so funny. I think I looked at Dan Scully and I was like, oh, thank God they actually scored before he got here.
That was hilarious.
I made JJ not speak for the rest of the first period.
And I kept my mouth shut for the whole first period too.
That's a lie. No, you didn't. RAT. Not too bad of a penalty parade, this one. Holy Cross did score a power play goal. But anyway, our guys.
Just so we're clear, 5 penalties on RIT is a penalty parade, but 4 is not.
No.
Yep. No.
No. Like seriously, 4 is probably average for a hockey game.
Yeah.
Penalties happen. I mean, especially with this team, we're a very aggressive hockey team. But once you get into 5, 6, 7, 12 against Union,
yeah, that's not great.
That game feels like it wasn't that long ago, and it was almost 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's wild how far we've come since then. It's insanity.
It's February hockey. It's the stretch run here. It's kind of crazy that we're already there. Caleb Moritz got one. That was good to see him get one. I know he's had some chances, just couldn't bury it. So
Nicholson almost had one too.
Oh, Nicholson.
Oh my God.
Dude, I remember which one you're talking about.
We were all convinced that it should have been challenged.
It should have been. I think it should have been.
It did not go in, JJ, but it hit the bottom of the post, and it looked from the angle the camera was, it looked like it went in. But when you saw the replay from the lower angle, because you could see it around the pole, it didn't go in. Carter Wilkie again, heck of a weekend for him. Earned him Atlantic Hockey Player of the Week honors this week.
Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. Tell me something I don't know. Move on. And then, like I said earlier, Dimitri Microgiannakis, heck of a weekend. They took an assist away from him.
Well, that's stupid.
He had an assist on the Wilkie goal. What the heck?
And that wasn't the only other stupid thing that happened, because I'm going to let Dan go in his rant, because I know he's been holding it in for a bit.
And then Holy Cross scored in overtime.
Listen, if you get to rant every other episode here, Dan can rant about the camera issues we had on Saturday. He was going nuts.
One more quick note: RIT won 42 faceoffs and only lost 15.
That's wild.
Yeah, you got to win that hockey game.
And
Dan?
The only player that was below 50% on faceoffs was Philippe Jacques with 1 win on 3. Yeah, so we're sitting in the
Holy Cross
Theater.
had 9 guys take faceoffs. Sorry, 9 guys take faceoffs. That's ridiculous. Sorry.
I'm going to have a second rant about being interrupted if this continues.
Ask Zoe, it's a thing.
Why am I
Yikes.
not surprised?
I'm not.
No, so a bunch of us are trying to enjoy a hockey game sitting in Wegmans Theater on campus. And every time the camera pans to the right, we can't see the corner. There's I don't know if it was really a post. It might have just been the wall at the end of the press box. But we could not see the corner.
You literally couldn't.
And it must have been so cold in the place that the cameraman was shivering while he was moving it back and forth. Because I think anyone who's susceptible to motion sickness probably needed a bucket next to them while they were watching that game.
It was bad.
It was bad.
Like at least put in some effort here. Like,
and how about also we're sitting there watching parts of the game and the camera is on a guy who's not even involved in the play.
They're showing the bench.
We're like,
or the ice. Just
fuck?
the ice.
We have the puck in their zone and they're showing the Holy Cross bench. Like, hello. There's a hockey game going on. Now I sound like Kaz.
We might cut to the
like
camera
Kaz.
that's in the corner where we can't see after the puck's already left the corner.
Yeah.
And half of the shot is the stanchion and the guy standing next to the camera.
Yep.
Dude, it was embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if I was Holy Cross.
Also, a quick side tangent. On Saturday, we did notice that there was a large assortment of alumni that were at that game for RIT.
RIT fans everywhere, baby.
You were very, 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 very much heard on that live stream. We could hear you guys clear as day.
We were doing chants with you.
Yep. And let's not also forget the Holy Cross broadcasters also said, "Man, you can hear the Tiger fans right now. Like we can hear you guys." So props to all you guys for being loud and proud there. That was incredible.
Tiger Nation is everywhere, baby. Gotta love it.
We infiltrate all your arenas.
Gotta love it. No one's safe.
So let's look around the league.
Maybe like Alaska, but that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what? I would not be surprised if we saw 5 or 6 RIT jerseys at a game.
One.
So you can watch the Frozen Four every year and even regional games, and you will most likely see an RIT jersey.
Yep. Every year.
Awesome. It's so great. I watch the Frozen Four mainly because I'm a college hockey fan, but I also love watching. I watch the crowd mostly trying to find the RIT jersey. There's always one. I remember in Philly there was one literally first row behind the net, and it was not a Flyers jersey. It was 100% an RIT jersey. So that was awesome.
Dom.
Oof. So let's real quick flip this to Dan. We'll look at the scores around Atlantic hockey, and then we'll look ahead to this weekend before we talk about the standings.
Well, other than Holy Cross, on Friday, the home teams came out on top. Canisius hosted Niagara, winning 5-2.
Anybody but Niagara.
Mm-hmm.
Quinnipiac, in the first round of the Connecticut Ice Tournament, hosted Sacred Heart, shut them out 5-0.
Which Nate definitely called.
I told you they were going to get smoked.
It's not like it was a hot take or anything, guys.
No, Quinnipiac is so good.
They're insane.
They're winning ECAC this year.
Probably.
Or Harvard. Harvard could have something to say about that, but
no.
Let's not let any Ivies win.
No, screw the Ivies.
Flashback to Aaron Huss yelling at the Princeton player, "Go back to the bench, you Ivy League scum."
Army beat Air Force 3-1 at West Point. And Mercyhurst hosted Bentley and beat them 4-3. Then Saturday, Air Force earned the split, winning 6-4. Not exactly
keeping their very slim playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, slim as
that was a big win for them because they'd be 10 points back of Canisius right now if they didn't win that game.
Well,
so
That game wasn't exactly a goaltender battle, huh? 6-4.
No.
Sacred Heart won the consolation game of the Connecticut Ice Tournament 4-3 over Yale. Bentley earned a split with Mercyhurst, winning 5-3.
That was huge for them.
That's huge for them.
Of course, Holy Cross took the game against RIT in overtime, and Niagara earned a split with Canisius 5-2. So,
quick shout out to the Canisius Pet Band on Friday playing Eye of the Tiger. They just want to be us.
also shout out that's not relevant because we already talked about RIT versus Syracuse, but they played Eye of the Tiger like shortly before puck drop when we were there on Wednesday, because that makes
It's
so
like
much sense.
these other schools are like, man,
do
these
they not
songs are
think?
hype, but
like
it's like, man, these songs are hype, but like, we're the Tigers. Why are you playing our
hello,
hype
like
song
you're
at your
playing our
place?
song. Like it's like Minnesota. The quick tangent to the NHL. The Minnesota Wild's goal song is the shout song, and they were playing Buffalo this weekend. And you could audibly hear, like, obviously you can hear the Minnesota fans, but I'm sure everybody in the building was doing, hey. Every single fan in the building.
Oh man,
it's like they don't think, man. They just don't.
No, they don't.
It sounds great, so they just use it. Looking ahead though, Dan, to this upcoming weekend.
So, we actually have I don't know if I want to call Thursday a midweek game, but AIC with their typical scheduling, because they don't play in a building that they own or have priority access to.
Disgusting.
AIC will host Sacred Heart Thursday at 7:05.
That's this series is gonna be big because
yes, it is.
Yeah.
If you get a split between AIC and Sacred Heart in their 4 games that they both win 2, because they play each other 4 times, they still have to play each other 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be big for us, especially if we pick up 6 points every weekend from here on out. I mean, we could actually literally run away with this.
We could.
This could determine if Sacred Heart even has a chance at the 1 seed.
Yeah. It'd be huge.
Especially because, at least according to playoff status, we have the weakest schedule left in the conference out of anybody.
Mm-hmm. And that makes
sense.
That.
I would agree too.
We still play the 3 bottom teams in the league.
Right.
Yep.
And Air Force
5 of those 6 games are at schedule.
Home. So Air Force,
there's
no way they're making the playoffs.
I don't think so.
They haven't stalled out in the mid area
yet, but
anyways, continue with the rest of the weekend, then we'll start talking about everything else.
So Friday, Niagara starts a series at home against Army. That game's at 5:00.
Why?
So you guys can go to Niagara and cheer for Army before you go to Canisius.
I have to work.
I would so do that. I'm not gonna lie. I would so do that.
I should. Just I'll go dressed in USA gear.
I still want to go sit with the C block when they go. That'd be hilarious. Just go with them, watch Niagara security staff just go like, "Oh my god, they've joined forces!" Like,
if Canisius goes to Niagara next year and we just happen to be off that weekend,
we'd be like Voltron.
We could definitely arrange that.
Oh yeah, it's like Voltron.
That'd be so much fun.
Be hilarious. Anyways, continue, Dan. Sorry.
RIT starts a home-and-home series with Canisius in Buffalo at 7:00. Holy Cross goes to Bentley at 7:05, and Air Force hosts Mercyhurst at 7:05 Mountain. Holy Cross and Bentley finished their series at 4:05 on Saturday. Mercyhurst and Air Force finished theirs at 5:05 Mountain. Sacred Heart hosts the return trip from the home and home with AIC at 7. RIT comes back to GPC to play Canisius at 7:05, and Army finishes their series at Niagara at 5:30. Why these games are not in any sort of chronological order on the schedule, I don't know, but we're just gonna ignore that. except we're
So-
not because I just talked about it.
Yep.
And then I guess
So-
depending on when we record, there's a couple midweek games, but
We'll deal with that later. I don't want to waste time on that right now. So obviously we have a massive rivalry series this weekend. We have home and home against, more like a rental home and home away. So thank you, Ed, for giving us that. No, I know he wants it brought
Canisius-
back, and we're gonna bring it back for him.
Canisius has a
lease.
little bit more.
Long-term lease.
Canisius has a little bit more meaning in the Goon household as well.
Mhm. In the Goon household. So obviously we play at the Harbor Center at 7.
Go
is it
time,
7?
baby.
It's
Let's go.
7:05, whatever it is. I hate when it's 7:05. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Commercials, baby. You gotta wait
just-
for the commercials.
Just round it down.
The commercials. So that game is then there is a ride share up right now in the Mobile Corner Crew thread in Discord for the Canisius Friday series. Obviously there's 2 games. There's one at home, the women, and there's one at Harbor Center for the men. If you can make it to the Harbor Center, great. But there's 2 options you can pick from either. You can either come with half of us to go see the men, or there's another half of the corner crew that's staying behind at the women's game too. So you can go to either. But specifically the game at the Harbor Center is going to be massive. Crazy implications all across the board. As Nate just mentioned, a 6-point sweep and a split between AIC and Sacred Heart could potentially make the gap too wide for Sacred Heart to catch us.
That would put us at 50. Sacred Heart would be at 39. That's
Yeah.
an 11-point gap.
Barring some sort of
With
wild collapse that probably
3
is not
weeks
going to
to go.
happen. Yeah, that would be really hard for them.
Yeah.
This series,
Whereas right now
also-
they're only 8 points back, so like that's still very much
Yeah,
a possibility.
This series is also pretty major for Canisius too. Yes, they still have 2 games in hand on Bentley, but if Bentley somehow pulls out a sweep this weekend and jumps them, they're now sitting in 9th and Air Force is in 10th riding behind them. So this is more, I think this is bigger for us than it is for them, because they do still have 2 games in hand on Bentley, so they do have some wiggle room there, I guess, a little
But you
bit.
got to remember those 2 games are at Air Force in the middle of the week.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. So that
So-
they kind of need something here.
I would expect Canisius to come out absolutely guns a-blazing this weekend.
Yep, like they need to.
Yeah.
I think I disagree with you. I think this weekend means more to them than it does to us because they're playing for their lives right now.
That's
Because,
true.
like you said,
That is true.
if they get swept and Bentley somehow sweeps, I'm pretty sure Bentley has the tiebreaker. So
Maybe.
I'm looking.
don't know
No,
if they-
Canisius has the
Canisius does.
tiebreaker.
'Cause
So
Bentley's only a couple points behind them. So even if Bentley just wins a game and ties, that's still bad for Canisius.
to jump 'em. And then Canisius
Well-
is on the outside looking in. So I think Canisius needs these games more than we do. I mean, obviously, we need them because
Yes.
I'd like to have the 1 seed locked up before Bentley comes to town.
Yeah.
But how realistic is that? I don't know. But by the way, RAT has clinched a playoff spot for those who
Yes,
don't know.
it's-
There will
yes,
be playoff hockey for RAT this year, and I think a win on Friday clinches a home series in the quarters.
Not
I believe
quite.
so.
Is it?
Or,
Not quite.
Well,
It's
it,
close.
It,
Pretty-
it
pretty
depends
darn
on what
close.
happens Friday.
Yeah,
Friday,
pretty darn close. So
3 points against Canisius on Friday will mathematically lock up the 5 seed.
Yep.
So
okay. So
So let's do predictions real quick, and then we'll take a look at the standings and kind of go in depth with that real fast. We'll go to Dan. We'll start with Dan. Go to Nate, and with me.
I think Canisius is going to put up a big fight. I
I
don't
agree with
think
that.
we take all 6 points. I'm going to say 5. We took 4 from them last time.
and probably should have, if it weren't for Jacob Barchowski, probably would have taken 6
I think so too.
on Friday. And I think he's the big factor. I think we're going to see two of the league's best in net this weekend
Mm-hmm.
between Tommy and Barchowski. But for my own personal reasons, I'm going to say sweep. My hockey brain is telling me 4 or 5. So
I also think sweep too, but I think sweep for another reason. I think Jacob Barshevsky is absolutely furious that he was pulled after giving up 8 goals against us last time. We all know he very much does not care for RIT or the corner crew, and I really think that's going to be in his head. I
love that.
I think he's going to be sitting there going, I cannot give up more than 4 because if I do, I'm going to get chirped to no end.
After this weekend, I would love to just go shake his hand and be like, dude, we love you. Let's be honest. Like, I love
no, we
playing.
don't.
Well, no, I love playing Jacob. I love playing Jacob because we are in his head so fast.
Oh yeah.
It's like he comes up for warm-ups and he just goes, God damn it.
Like and no, he literally says that too. Like you can
he's like, oh, these guys again.
Here they are again. Like
Jacob. Whiteboard.
Yeah.
Jacob.
I honestly do think that's going to be a factor. I don't think he wants to give up another big outing again. I think he's going to want to shut us out in both games. I think that's going to be in the back of his mind. It's just like, we cannot lose these guys. I'm not going to let this torment continue. But that's just me though.
And then our shooters capitalize and put in 10 again. No,
exactly. If we score 10 again, I'm going to lose my mind.
We are not scoring 10 goals again.
No, I'd be surprised if we put up 10 combined the 2 nights.
Yeah, that was a very rare off night for Jacob. So
we will have to see though. Anyways, looking at the standings now, I'm going to go down that. I'm going to go 1 to 10, just straight down again because why not?
Go 10 to 1. It's better.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. So sitting at 10th place and dead last in the conference is Air Force, who is pretty much flying blind with 13 points.
Flying.
Bentley now sits 9th with 17 points. Canisius 8 with 20 points. Army is now 7 with 23. Holy Cross sits 6th with 24. Niagara is 5th with 25. Mercyhurst is now 4th with 28. AIC 3rd with 31. Sacred Heart now sits 2nd with 36 points, and RIT lonely at the top, just 1 seat with 44. So we have a nice 8-point lead over. Yes, we have an 8-point lead over Sacred Heart in the standings right now. The middle of this bracket of this
is nuts.
Is within like a point. So Canisius could go from like,
if the playoffs started today, RIT plays Canisius at GPC. Thank you very much. Sacred Heart plays Army, which is an interesting series, but I think AIC Holy Cross is the one I'd be watching other than ours and Mercyhurst and Niagara. So it will not look like that come a month from now. When the regular season has ended and we are actually in the playoffs. But
now here's another interesting thing.
I will be shocked if any of those matchups are actually the ones that happen. It's going to be a fun month of hockey in Atlantic. And I think this is where people don't give Atlantic hockey enough credit. 3 to 8 are separated by 11 points. That's in the 3-point system. That's not a lot.
No, that's 2 weeks.
So yeah. So I think Atlantic hockey doesn't get a lot of credit for how competitive it actually is within the conference. I don't think there's a conference that is that competitive within the conference.
Now, I'm also going to say
the country. So
I think the 2 series that I'm looking at right now, besides ours, that I'm really interested in, obviously Sacred Heart AIC, but the Mercyhurst series, because should by some wild thing Mercyhurst get a sweep and AIC and Sacred Heart split, Mercyhurst is then tied with AIC for 3rd.
Yeah, it'll be.
So that's even
it'll be interesting.
We could I think Mercyhurst just positioned themselves in a spot where they realistically could jump AIC and get.
They're sitting in a good spot. I'm telling you.
And then after that, I mean, you got Niagara, Holy Cross, and Army. Niagara, Holy Cross, Army are all 25, 24, 23. Niagara could very realistically end up in 7th after this weekend if something weird happens. And Army could jump
in 7th too.
I know, and Army could jump up to 5. So who knows what could happen? That'd be insane.
Yeah, should be a fun week in Atlantic hockey. Quick pairwise update too. Don't look at CHN; they're wrong. RIT's in 15th. Somehow, still we didn't move. That puts us in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still of the idea that you should just win your conference and get in that way. That's more fun.
100%.
Much more fun.
Because Because at 15, I think I said it with Penn State too. If you lose in your conference tournament, that you're going to get knocked out. So get a win the tournament. That's how you get in. But
And
somehow we
yeah.
moved up to 18th in the USCHO poll.
I don't know
Dan
how
and
that
I
happened.
saw Providence got swept by Maine and Lowell jumped. So
okay, so
basically everybody around us either sucked or did well enough to move up. So that's how we moved up.
Doctor did well enough to move up.
And then you've got the other poll that none of us hold in very high regard, but
Who cares?
we dropped out
Who
of it.
cares about the USA Today poll? Like, does anyone actually look at
Yeah.
that, or is it just kind of there?
It's just there. So
it's weird.
Whatever.
Anyways, we have a lot of hockey coming up this week, and we got 4 games that are going to help determine a lot of stuff going forward.
Big weekend.
Big weekend for RAT hockey, and we will be around for all of it. So definitely be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you are notified when the next episode goes live after this crazy weekend of hockey. Leave a comment on what you think is going to happen this weekend, what you'd like to see happen across the conference. We love to see that also, besides Aaron's stupid comments that he leaves all the time, which we do love seeing and reading, but, you know.
Yay, engagement.
I know, right? Engagement's great. Social media links will also be in the description. Instagram is the big one right now. We've been posting a lot on that. Twitter's also there. Facebook is the thing as well. Also in the description, also in the description will be our Discord invite link. You can join that through there. It's been a lot of work in Discord lately, mostly with working out travel plans for Canisius, and coming up very soon. The Niagara one will go up also, because that is very quickly coming up as well. So keep an eye out for both of those series. For those of you listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because Dan Scully complained enough to want it.
So no, stop. Hang on. I'm clearing this up.
Give me the bit, man. It's funny.
We were always gonna do it. I'm not letting you have that bit anymore. I think
obnoxious. Dan should be the one that allows to have the bit or not.
I told you before that I wasn't complaining because I don't even listen back to the podcast most of the time.
What?
Wow.
You
don't have enough time for that, Nate.
I do. I listen to it like
that's because we're both not in class anymore. Anyways, both of those are also there. If you were coming to YouTube from one of those two or vice versa, just follow us on all of it. It would help across the board. It'd be kind of great. That being said, have a great rest of your night, everybody. Go Tigers.
We're Black Saturday.
Yes, Blackout Saturday. Be ready for
Blackout Saturday. Let's go. Roll Tech. Canisius sucks. Big weekend.
Hopefully just a blackout in terms of fans and not like the power going out.
Canisius sucks. That was the perfect way to end that.